I get into today's video, I want to ask you a question, a proposal, really, but more or less a question to the individuals that enjoy watching this channel. So, as you may know, some of you may know that I do live stream on Twitch, but I also understand that a majority of my audience is here on YouTube. So the question was, after I ran a very successful test stream today on the YouTube channel, is do you, or would you rather me stream here on YouTube, or do you want me to continue streaming on Twitch? Let me know in the comments below. I think I'll try to do one of those poll things with it, but as always, let me know what you guys think. If all goes well, I will stream on YouTube as opposed to streaming on Twitch. That means you can just access it right here on YouTube. It's pretty much the same content, nothing changes, same overlays, same potato awesomeness that I try to deliver. But with that being said, let's hop right into today's content, which is the Year 1 in review for The Division. Now, I'm not going to go through everything here because, like I said, I don't want to be the stereotypical YouTuber that has to cover patch notes or everything that comes out, but I do want to give you my take on a couple of those things because some of you have asked me for my take on it, and for whatever reason, you view my opinion as important. And while I appreciate that, I just want to, again, reiterate the fact that this is pretty cookie cutter. Majority of games, AAAs, will release their year in review or content plan, at least in a solid roadmap for you prior to the game coming out, so that you have a good idea of what's going to be coming up relatively soon. And I think that's fantastic. That's actually great. We've seen it in a lot of games. The Witcher is a good example. The Destiny is a great example as well. Now, the problem with this, again, is that there's a lot of room for interpretation. And this, again, is not necessarily a bad thing, but rumors run abound, people expect certain things, they get hyped up for things that may or may not exist. That's my only problem with it. Other than that, hey, I'm fine. Give us a good idea of what we should be expecting, and as we move closer to those dates, give us more relative information. So starting with that, the big takeaways, obviously, are the fact that there is going to be some type of endgame PvE horde mode survival-ish activity with the first update coming out. And this isn't even talking about the loot trading and gear set stuff that's going to be released prior to that, which I think is great. Loot trading, in my opinion, is a great way for you and I to experience in more than just the social aspect. So for example, going above and beyond is the instance where I find a super rare blueprint that maybe only a couple people get their chances to get their hands on. It's like an RNG super rare drop. And I let you guys know in a YouTube video that, hey, I've got this pretty cool weapon blueprint. I'll build it for people. All you have to do is hit me up and I'll build it for you. That right there, that type of, not necessarily ingenuity, but interest is something that I would like to see and really provide for if I'm given the opportunity. So in the instance that I find some super dope Scar H or Scar L orange or high-end blueprint and only like 3 or 4 people in the world have it right away, and I'm one of those guys, I will definitely go out of my way to build some for people if you're on the PC. That being said, I think that is a great instance of what gear trading could be. It also gives you an opportunity to give things to your friends that they may not have a chance to get or simply can't get because they don't spend enough time or spend as much time as you, the player, in the game. And I think that's super cool. Gear trading and loot trading is always an interesting way to increase the longevity of a title. There's problems with loot trading, but I don't really want to get into it because, again, it's very specific, very niche. A lot of people agree with loot trading being a necessity, and some don't. It's hard to say, but what do you think? With that being said, we talked a little bit about survival, which is like horde mode type-esque thing where you and your group of your buddies have to survive increasingly harder challenges. This seems to be a very standard takeaway in a lot of games that are co-op driven nowadays, where there is this horde type survival mode, which is dope. I think that's cool. I'm always been cool with it. Prison of Elders was very fun, very enjoyable. The only problem I had with Prison of Elders that I hope Ubisoft and Massive can really try to fix or change is the repetition of horde mode. The problem with Prison of Elders was that it was the same every single time. It didn't really change. There were a couple variables, but the variables were so predictable that it didn't really change the entire experience. I hope that they figured out a way to make it completely unpredictable to the point where you go into this horde mode or survival mode and you don't even know. There could be so many different variables that the chances of you finding the same encounter again and again are relatively small. but that's up in the air. Who knows? The second one is Underground, which I'm going to assume is another expansion to the world map, probably the under part of the world map, the subway portion of it, which is obviously going to provide, most likely, more PvE specific content, but there could be a Dark Zone expansion with there, maybe some more subway terminals being unlocked in the Dark Zone, or a very specific underground Dark Zone type area. Who knows? The final one is Last Stand. Last Stand, for me, my interpretation of it, and this is just my interpretation and complete speculation, is the idea that this is some type of base building horde mode survival mechanic, or maybe even going this far, and let's just work with me here, okay? Maybe it's base building player versus player. So you're in the Dark Zone, or you're in the new Dark Zone, whatever they do, and you have the opportunity to hold an area as your clans, maybe not just your fire team, but your clan's area, and that is your area to defend, your area to hold on to. And if you hold on to that area or have a stronghold in the area that you are holding on to as a player, you get increased loot drops, increased Dark Zone funds, something, right? There's an incentive for you to hold on to that area, and there's also an incentive for other players to try to take you out. That's just an idea. Personally, I think it's going to be more PvE focused, but it'd be dope if they brought in the PvP aspect too. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, these DLCs are a bit ways away. We're talking months, but still, overall, I think this is very good. A good solid roadmap, enough there to sort of get a taste. It's like an appetizer, not enough to really delve into it, because again, this is very cookie cutter information. This stuff happens all the time. Major developers and major publishers are understanding that to market a game properly, there is no real need to tell you everything up front. So, with that in mind, let me know what you guys think. And as always, you guys are beautiful people. Let me know about the Twitch and the YouTube thing. Either post in the comments. I'll try to have like a straw poll link or one of the polls attached to YouTube video, and you can just give me your vote right away. And if all goes well, I'll either be streaming The Division Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific time on my Twitch channel, or 9 p.m. Pacific time here on this YouTube channel. You guys are beautiful people, and I'll see you all later. Peace.
Do you think you're better?